Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Maurice Hudson and today we are doing all topics queer. I'm with my two queer people today, which will be discussing all topics regarding to queer people. They will introduce themselves and here we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Pumulani Mtuli. I'm popularly known by 3 people, not popular, as Swahili. I'm a Vets BA student and a content producer for Vow FM, which is the voice of Vets.
Yes.
Okay, hi guys, I am Genesis Sky and I'm a musician.
Okay, nice to have you guys. Nice to have you guys here. So basically, we'll be touching base on topics that are related to queer people. I would like to give a shout out to Kanye Lumkwana, who couldn't be here because he was attacked, which was a very horrible attack that happened. So shout outs to him. So basically, I'd like to start on that matter, guys. We are facing harassment and discrimination in the society. Now, how do we blend into the society? What do you think is our way forward to that?
I think, the issue is miseducation.
Yeah,
that's the word.
yeah. Mhm.
Lack of information.
Mhm.
And yes, I think it's very important that, everything, awareness about the LGBTQI is created in schools and within all spaces and families and homes. Because I think, and someone may think, no, but the gays want to impose.
Yes, right? Yeah.
Everyone thinks that's the case. And the straight people like to say, you never hear us imposing heterosexuality.
Yeah.
No one has ever been attacked for being a heterosexual. No one has ever suffered on the fact that they're heterosexual.
Exactly.
You've never been bullied. You don't get bullied because you're straight.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily imposing, but it's to say that if people are educated and people know more, they're more likely to deal better and understand situations better. And that will prevent a lot of things,
Yeah, true.
So if people understand and are learning, it's not to say that we're telling you to accept us, whatever, but learn about.
But they should accept us. Yes, we're telling you that.
Learn about gay people.
Yeah.
And treat them equally and fairly.
Yeah.
You know?
Even besides that, like as much as we can educate people, right? I think a problem that we have as society is that we're in this box, right? And we don't want to get out of this box, right? Because there's if you look at TV shows now, if you look at the media, there's a lot of homosexual people and people who aren't really straight out there in the world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But people they want to stay in this box. They don't want to be exposed to other people, different kinds of people, different types of things. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we also need to attack that.
Yeah, they'll use religion.
Now, how yes, they use that also.
For hatred, yeah.
Now, do you feel like our government has our back at some point because we're being assaulted and there are rapes out there which are taking place, and for you as a gay person or as a heterosexual, as a gay person or as a lesbian being or a bisexual, and when you go to report that you're being raped by the same gender, they don't take you serious.
I don't think they do because I was reading up on statistics last week. I think in 2009, right, in the Western Cape, there were 31 women who reported cases of rape. 31 lesbians reported cases of rape. But out of the 31, only one came with a conviction. So out of the 31 people who reported, only one person was arrested in all of that. So I feel like the government doesn't really have our backs as queer people.
Yeah.
I think I have the opposite opinion about that.
Yeah.
I strongly feel that our government has us as queer people.
Okay.
With regards to the constitution, we have gay-friendly clinics.
Yes. Yeah.
We have, so, in South Africa, I think, especially
but the
with
police.
Yes, I think the government, theoretically, there is great support for queer people.
Theoretically.
In terms of implementation, that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
The police are supposed to protect us as queer people. They're supposed to be there. However, due to the fact that we're helped by homophobic police, the people that are hired there, they have no interest in protecting us. So I don't think it's necessarily a government problem per se, but I think the people that are working there, hence I say it's not well implemented to say that your rights, irrespective of how you feel about queerness and homosexuality, your duty as a police officer, as the police, is to protect the people of the country, irrespective of their sexuality. And that's what they're not doing.
Oh, okay. Now, guys, with that, we're facing those issues. do you feel like these people, or the police rather, do not understand where we're coming from, or because we have so many pronouns? Rather, because we're having different queer pronouns, right? I can like literally announce that now I go as a she, and no one has the right to say anything about that. So do you feel like the pronouns also in our community maybe kinda?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't even think, to them, they don't even care about they don't respect us enough to even go
it's
that
a respect
far.
thing.
Exactly. They don't respect us enough to even consider the pronouns that you have.
Yeah.
And you know, the one thing I've noticed, you know, is how a lot of trans women, you know, people are always insistent to say that it's a he. You know, it's a he. And then with gay men, they always like it's a she.
Yeah.
You know, in attempt to disrespect you, in attempt for it to be derogatory. You know, so I don't think they care enough about that. They homophobia is so strong.
Yeah.
That
They don't care.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you say you identify as a she, they're gonna disrespect
They
you.
don't
enough
respect
to
you
say-
enough to
exactly.
Yeah.
even think about, but no, if saying it's a she, then let me call her a she.
Exactly.
You know, they don't.
They're already hating you from the minute you enter the room.
Yeah.
The minute you're loud in your queerness. The
Yeah.
minute you enter, they already don't want to associate themselves with you. They don't want to help you. They don't want to do anything with you. So I don't even think the pronouns play such a major role.
Now during in
But
our
they are important. They are something they are very important. They should be taken seriously.
do you think our community takes our pronouns seriously?
I think it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because in our community, there's also a lot of internalized homophobia.
True.
Yeah.
Right. Especially like with women.
Yeah.
It's scary because if, let's say, you come out now as a bisexual man,
Yeah.
women have this thing of you know, disrespecting you just because
Yeah.
you're bisexual. They're like, no, you sleep with another man, so then they think less of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think because of that internalized homophobia, it makes it a lot harder for even other people who aren't in the community to, you know, be accepting and respecting of pronouns.
You know, I think pronouns, as much as they're important, they're very Western thing. You know, we black in South Africa.
Yeah.
I think Zulu,
Yeah.
awuku, he, no she. You
Yeah.
know? So as black people, pronouns don't necessarily play that much of a role. You know, from how we communicate.
Yeah.
They aren't Zulu in our black languages, in our vernacular. We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
aren't-
closer, there isn't like a
exactly.
specific
There
word
isn't
for
a word
she
for
or
she
he.
or he. So there isn't necessarily pronouns.
Okay.
So I think they are important in the Western and the English concept, right? However, because we're black people, I wouldn't say that they play that much of a role, especially if I assume that we're engaging in our own language.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily think in the African context they do.
Oh, okay. Now you have tabbed being about bisexuality. Now let's tap into health issues now. A lot of people, a lot of lesbian people, or let me not say a lot, I've heard this, there's a lesbian person who just said to me, for me personally, I do not like bisexual beings because they spread the diseases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this stigma with bisexual people that because you're bisexual, you're
Yeah.
sleeping around.
Yeah,
You're sleeping around.
exactly.
They're like, because you choose between men
Uh-huh.
and women, now you're sleeping with everyone. That's a stigma that's around like bisexual people, and that's not it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think people need to understand the difference when one is polyamorous and when one is bisexual. And people often, you know, use the two interchangeably. People
Yes.
think that is one thing, that if I'm bisexual, it means I'm having, you know, I'm having relations with both men and women simultaneously.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is not the case. That's
Yeah.
not what bisexuality is. Unless
Yeah.
you're polyamorous and bisexual, then that's
it's
a different case.
case.
Let's explain bisexuality.
Bisexuality. Ooh, who's going to explain?
Bisexuality is being
Attraction
attracted to
to
both
both
men
men.
and women.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's
Males
how
and
I
females.
yeah. I think that's
So-
how I define it.
If you're bisexual and at this
And
moment,
it's also, sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off, it's also not a 50-50 thing. That's the one thing that irks me a lot. People often think that bisexuality means I'm half into women and half
Oh,
into
yeah.
men.
Oh.
It's not math. It's
Yeah, that's where I was
sexuality.
going.
You know, I could see 10 women pass, I could be attracted to. You know, it's not a percentage thing. So you could prefer whoever you prefer more.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make you less bisexual.
Yeah.
If I'm more into women than I am into men, doesn't mean now I'm more straight. Or when I'm dating a woman, I'm
Yeah.
straight now. No, I'm
Still
it's
bisexual.
Exactly.
yeah, oh, okay. Now I want us to step into the myths that have been around about anal sex, because a lot of people, they feel like anal sex is nasty, and anal sex, like it's the worst ever. And if you're having anal sex, obviously you're having STIs, STDs, you have AIDS. So how can we correct our own society and community on that matter?
Should I? Okay.
Yeah.
I think with anal sex, obviously it's anal sex.
Yeah.
The risks are higher. That's the truth.
Yeah.
The risks of getting STIs, HIV infections, they are higher if you don't take the necessarily precautionary measures.
Yeah.
Unlike the vagina, the ass doesn't necessarily get wet or have some form of natural lubrication.
Yeah.
So it's important that you do then lubricate and all that. When it comes to it being nasty and dirty, I mean, sex is nasty.
Yeah.
It's dirty, right? But obviously, if you're gonna have anal sex, usually people douche. You're supposed to clean up. Clean
I feel like it's not talked about enough. Because there's a lot of sex education talks where people talk about how to have sex between men and women.
Exactly.
So they don't talk about anal sex enough to educate you.
Exactly. And children should be learning about this in schools. In the life orientation textbooks, they should be talking about sex within the queer community.
Now it goes back to the government. If it supports us that much, why doesn't they have us in their books? Do you understand?
Exactly.
Yeah. So now let's take it back to about what's this? Being circumcised.
Oh, initiation
yeah,
school.
initiation school, being circumcised. Now, do you feel like gay people shouldn't be going to initiation school?
But why shouldn't they? Because now that is discriminating. I think it's problematic to say that because someone is gay. I think we also need to get off the stigma or the myth that being gay means you're feminine.
Yeah.
Or being
because not all
means
gays
you're
are feminine.
Exactly. If not, it's exactly my point. So people should be able to have the freedom. If you want to go to initiation school, you should be able to go there. And if the importance of an initiation school is as important as it's said to be, then it shouldn't be exclusive to say that you're gay. You shouldn't be coming to initiation school.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they get forced to initiation school forcefully, or they get sent there forcefully?
Yeah, I mean,
but gay men.
Yeah, some do. I think it does happen.
So
I think sometimes it's sort of like a corrective thing.
Exactly.
They send you to initiation school thinking that they're gonna teach you how to be a man. Then that means you're gonna come out being straight, which isn't the situation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So where are your rights there? So your rights are being violated as a person. Being sent there isn't a decision that you have to take by yourself, or your parents take it for you.
I think it gets quite tricky with this one. I mean, when it comes to culture, we're still African, we still need to respect and value our culture. And so it is quite a tricky one, and I think there is a lot to the conversation. I'm Zulu, so we don't have any mountain that
So I feel like it's different cultures. Because about Xhosa, I know that
I'm Xhosa,
like you have
and
to go
I had to go.
School. Like it's just a thing. It's just tradition.
It's tradition. So it's nothing being forcefully.
I think as much, I think that's what, as much as it's a tradition, and I don't want to disrespect other people's traditions and cultures. I think as long as it's not violating your rights and not violating you, if you're not being forced into doing something that you don't want to do, you should be given the necessary choice.
I think you're being forced, actually, because in our culture, you're not being asked if you want to go. You're get told that you're going there.
It's like if you don't go, then you're not a man. That's basically how it is now.
Yeah. So with that, let's step into sex. Now, do you feel like sex in homosexuals or in our relationships is the main key of the relationship?
I mean, black men have been hypersexualized, since the colonizers came in. That's how they, so the hypersexualization of black men is something that has existed for the longest time. So, when you think of a black man, they think it's natural because a man sleeps around, he cheats and stuff like that. So it's only natural, not necessarily natural, but it's only normal. It's bound to happen that gay relationships, because now that's a relationship.
That is alternative, guys.
It's necessarily between two men. It's natural that it may end up into a very just sexual relationship rather than a romantic one. So it's very easy for that to happen because men naturally, women are shamed for having sex, right? So whereas with men, it's okay, you can have sex with multiple men.
And then you're congratulated for that.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That is why amongst gay people, it might seem quite popular that, or quite trendy that sex is the one thing that's there. Like gay people sleep around, or their relationships are based on sex and everything's based on sex. And yeah, it's understandable why that is the case. But I think it's not necessarily the truth of the matter. I think there's been a lot of romantic relationships which are gay, and I think also because I'd like to say we're starting with the gay relationships. We do not know how they are. We gay relationships for the longest time have always been something that's hidden and something and all that. So now people are starting to be in gay relationships and they don't know how to.
They're proud about it now. So they don't know what to do.
You don't know the role to play because you used to a heterosexual relationship. This person does this. So the role within a relationship to say this is what we do, how we do this. So there's a lot
to be said.
We're still figuring out even as a society.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like as a gay person or as a lesbian being or as a bisexual, or do you feel like is there a need for you to come out?
Absolutely
not.
I don't believe in coming out because it's like I have friends, right, who are heterosexual, right? They didn't have to go and call a family meeting and be like, hey guys, I'm heterosexual, whatever. So I don't think it's necessary. But I feel like as a society, it's something that we've normalized. Like we've normalized coming out. So like you have to come out at some point. Like you have to come out to your parents. But I personally, I don't think it's a necessity.
Okay.
I think for the longest time being gay was a taboo. It was like having generally very back in the days when you were gay, it meant you had HIV.
Yes.
So it was, you had to tell people, listen, I'm gay and I got the gay virus, because that's what it used to be called. So coming out then maybe would have made sense to say that, okay guys, please be wary because there's now this virus that I have, But nowadays it doesn't even matter they have the virus or not, There are people who are even undetectable having the virus. And it's not necessary. What are you coming out of? You have to come out of something that is not natural. So what are you coming out of? It does not. The theory of coming out does not make sense. Like Pumagwin.
But Bandase, we can't run away from it because we do not come from. We come from different backgrounds. Our families and all. Some are Christian family and some are, So you being gay in that particular family could maybe get you disowned, right? So now how do we deal with such issues of people being disowned because of their sexuality?
I'll say sue your parents. Sue them.
Sue your parents.
For what though?
Sue them.
Because why should they disown you because you're gay?
Exactly.
No, it doesn't make sense and it's not right. What are you suing them for?
Okay, but disowning you.
Legally,
they can't disown
No, they cannot. Legally, it's within your right. Your parents are supposed to maintain you until you're self-proficient.
They're supposed to maintain you until you finish school.
No, not till you're 18. The law is until you're self-proficient.
No.
And that's the thing. People think when you turn 18, then your parents...
Your parents literally can kick you out of their house and the law can't do nothing.
The law can't do something about it, especially if it's within their means. Your parents are legally obliged to maintain you until you are self-proficient. Maintenance includes education, medical care, all those kind of things
financial
that you need. So your parents legally are bound to do that. That's when you're a minor. So when you're under 18, you're a minor.
When you're a minor,
major,
they are.
When you're major, still, when you're over 18, they're supposed to take care of you until you can be self-proficient. They can't just I'm telling you,
okay, no, it's fine.
Listen to my show because that is what we had the conversation about on my show this week. And it's not false information. Everyone thinks that because you're 18, when you're 18, you're an adult, you're allowed to work. So legally, you can work. It doesn't mean that your parents can stop taking care of you. It means now that you considered an adult, you can work. When you're under 18, you're minor, so you can't even work. It's child labor. But when you're over 18, you can work. So ideally, when you're over 18, you can be self-sufficient.
But these cases, they do happen. And how do we deal with them? That's why I'm like, if you have the money, sue them. I don't know what
people can do about that.
But we needed the government to step in on this one.
Yeah, definitely. There
Definitely
needs to be systems in place to prevent these things from happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, really do not know. It's an interesting one because it's just distasteful that you disown someone merely because of their sexuality.
Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think, I think that's why a lot of people even shy away and can't even say this is my boyfriend.
Like they hide it from their parents because they're afraid of being disowned.
You see people like Morris. You see Morris Anglibe so goli, I flamboyant, whatever.
Yeah.
But during December when he goes back home, then he goes brand new. You know. So now you have to be someone you know to prevent this kind of
that
thing
could
from
never
happening.
be me. That could never be me. I
so
refuse.
I think we do need those systems in place to say that, listen, because and you're right, the government needs to do something about that. You literally cannot be disowning someone for their sexuality, especially in a country where it says that you are legal. It's legal to be gay in this country, you know. And I think in about 71 countries in the world, it's illegal to be gay.
Yeah.
So when we have that right, there should be systems, and we have the right to shelter, you know. So it's actually it actually is illegal for them to kick you out, guys. Like I just think we don't know our rights as people, because you have the right to shelter, and your parents also, No, that's
your right.
It's access to. The fact is, man, you know, obviously we're young. You're getting kicked out at 18, 19. How are you going to afford lawyers? You know,
I feel like Black Queer should take this topic and run with it, because we need
queer lawyers who are going to represent
right?
pro bono.
Exactly.
We need to create a community.
Some, but it's very few.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
we
few.
need to create a system or community where we say that, listen, because I also think community support within the community isn't as great as it should be, you know.
For sure.
But we need to have people that we work with who are willing to represent you pro
The
bono,
government
to
should
say
provide.
Exactly. To say that, no, that you've been kicked out by parents, you can sue them for maintenance. They should at least be giving you 5,000 rands a month for rent, and additional if they can.
Yes.
Depending on how much they can afford. There should be systems in place, definitely. You're right about that.
Cool. Now let's talk about mental health. I feel like gay men are struggling from mental health, guys, and it's not even a joke. We are having people who literally take their lives, you know, based in due to mental health, because they're not the society is just rejecting them and at home and everything. So how do you think we can deal with such?
I think first of all, it's already a struggle being a man who suffers from mental health issues. In society, you're seen as like libo,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now being a gay man who's also suffering from, you know, mental health issues, then people don't respect you. People don't, they like, no drama, you know, like you're being dramatic and all of that. But I don't know how we can tackle that. I think we need to, besides like educating in schools, I feel like there shouldn't be such a stigma like around mental health in general. I feel like more people should be educated. Like it should be something included in conversations. You know what I'm saying?
And I think we need to have conversations, man. I think we need to educate people. Conversations like this, because for the longest time, and even pop culture and media always say that, you know, the entertainment industry is so powerful and do not realize the power. When you're listening to a song and it's saying fag, hey, you know, and it's trying to be derogatory towards gay people, those kind of things are problematic, and we should not tolerate that kind of behavior. And even in movies like TVs, we need to see more gay
characters
characters who are gay in real life too. You know, we need to see representation, because we always say representation matters. So why are we not representing queer people enough? So we need to have those kind of things in place, so that people firstly do not feel like they are a disease. You know, a lot of gay people feel that, you know, I'm some disease. A lot of gay people hate themselves. The self-hate gay people have for themselves is because of that, because the stigmas around what it is to be gay, the homophobia that exists around it. And that's, the solution is necessary. We have to have conversations. We have to have more gay people out there. We have to have conversations at schools. We have to go visit schools. We have to be around kids and tell them that, listen, it's not a disease. It's okay to be gay, you know. And it's beautiful to be gay. It's natural to be gay. We need to teach people and educate kids, so that, because I think a lot of the mental health comes from within, to say that besides the fact that, yes, they are various exterior forces of people reminding them of how worthless they are and all these things, of how they're wrong. And, you know, there's always people saying, hey, stubborn, hey. There's all these kind of things. They treated badly within society. There's also the self-hate that they have for themselves, which is something we need to tackle. And once we deal with that, a lot of things are going to start to pan out in place.
Now, guys, that was a nice debate, a nice chat. We call it a wrap, guys. Now, I'd like to say, if there are any people who are struggling from mental health or mental issues that are sexuals, guys, you can reach out to ASCHP. It's a clinic whereby they literally give you counseling, your psychology. There's Anele Siswana, who's a clinical psychologist who specializes in clinical psychologist. So basically, if you ever need or you are struggling within self, you can just contact them and maybe you could have your help there. Reach out. Now, guys, we call it a wrap. It was beautiful. It was lovely. And hopefully you will drop your comments and you will subscribe. You will share the videos and definitely we'll see you next time around. So we call it a wrap. Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Thank you.
It's a wrap.
Yes.